We often say here on the show we love a red telephone box, don't we? But I'm covering this one up simply because it's slightly vandalised, to say the least, which is a shame, as you know, because we all love them. They're a part of British life, but sadly, with the mobile age that we all live in, not many of us now require them. I know. Now, today we're in a beautiful market town of Ossett in the riding of West Yorkshire. And for those of us around the world that don't know where this beautiful spot is, it's very near Wakefield. But we're here because amazingly, it has a rather strange Hollywood connection. And as ever, I wanted to share it with you. Beautiful market town was even mentioned in the infamous Doomsday Book. No, it's not my autobiography for those of you that are thinking that, but a very famous book, of course. Also in the 19th century, can you believe this, that Ossett was set to be a rival to the nearby spa town of Harrogate in North Yorkshire. They decided to go ahead with their own spa, and they thought that all the Victorians, you see, who loved the idea of taking the waters, as we showed you recently in Harrogate, well, they would simply follow through here. But sadly, it didn't really come to fruition. Lots of other things, though, have happened here in Ossett. Now, if you're like me, you like nothing better than a bit of luxury, soap-wise, you know, I'm talking. And if you can afford it in this cost of living crisis, one particular brand of very exclusive soap started life here. All thanks to this gentleman, Thomas Cousins. That's right, he was the developer, a chemist, who came up with the brand that we all love today. And I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, it was the height of sophistication. Imperial leather soap. Now, of course, you have to try and find the size of the bar when you open the packet, but it's still a beautiful smell. And whenever you go in somebody's bathroom and you see a bar, you think, they're a bit posh. Of course you do. This is Ossett Town Hall behind me, currently in a renovation, over 100 plus years old, and really the focal point of the town. But really how it changed was in 1862, the railways finally came here to Ossett, you know, the big invention that the Victorians loved, you know. It was really the golden age of steam, and this connected all of the areas, you know, Leeds, Manchester, Bradford. Even though this was a small market town, it was pivotal at that time. Famous people who came from this wonderful town are none other than Jill Summers, a latter-day golden age variety star who really found fame later on in life in the long-running serial Coronation Street as a battle axe. Phyllis Pierce, you know, the one with Percy Sugden. Absolutely. But she had a stellar career long before she hit it big in the land of soap. Another soap star from the very same series was none other than Helen Worth, who was called Helen Wrigglesworth at the time. She's still in Coronation Street and plays the long-running, long-suffering Gail Platt. It's not only those, though, because if you like your music fun, there's none better than these people, Black Lace and Agadoo. Yes, it all started here in the wonderful market town. But there is a Hollywood connection. That's right, a very famous star who, when I show you the picture, you'll instantly know him. Not only did he make his very first professional debut literally at the building behind me way back in April 1942, but he had to hire the town hall to make it happen. Who are we talking about? April 1942, this particular gentleman, oh yes, the now infamous Terry Thomas, was part of the Royal Court of Signals here in Ossett. But he decided that he wanted to break into show business and enjoyed something of a flourish as part of ENSA. Now, everybody knows Terry Thomas as the sort of rackish cad in all of those great movies like I'm All Right Jack and Tom Thumb. But it was literally here that he had to get his career going. As I say, he decided to hire the town hall, not just for one night, but for 2 nights, in the vain hope that people would come along and see him and see his spectacular talent. He'd written his own sketch all about having terrible feet while in the army, and apparently got quite a lot of laughs. Terry's career literally started out here, because from here he was picked up to do BBC radio broadcasts, then going into Variety over in Blackpool, and then of course onto the stellar career that we all know today. He appeared on every major show in the world, and alongside some of the biggest stars like Judy Garland, Bing Crosby, appearing in major TV series like The Persuaders, Burke's Law, and one of the very final films of none other than the international sex symbol Jayne Mansfield in 1967. Terry himself said, though, that it was all about look. Many people, Terry really became such an international icon, always debonairly dressed, and the famous gap tooth, the cigarette holder. Of course, times hit everybody. It doesn't matter what sort of star you are. One of his very big paydays was in the 1970s, starring opposite this lovely lady, June Whitfield, advertising Bird's Eye Fish Fingers. Yes, you see, it comes to, don't laugh, it'll come to me eventually. But it's lovely to know that they carried on, isn't it? Now, what's also interesting is, sadly, for many fans will know that sadly Terry developed Parkinson's disease, and it really sort of curtailed his acting career. Sadly, also, he was unable to pay a lot of his medical costs. But near the end, they put on a charity concert at a big London theatre. So Terry left behind a wonderful legacy of great films, great performances, and if you have his album Strictly TT, which was released in the late 1950s, it's worth a lot of money. But interestingly also, as I say, they put on a major charity concert at a London theatre to help him with his medical bills. Sir Michael Caine, a personal friend, also was involved in that, as is and was the brilliant drummer from Genesis, the international singing star and composer Phil Collins. Everybody wanted to help Terry Thomas. And as I often say, it's nice to remember those that have gone before, but isn't it fascinating to think that Terry's career really started here in this very small market town of Ossett in the riding of West Yorkshire near Wakefield. No plaque, but do you think there should be? Neil Sean in the very heart of Ossett, West Yorkshire.